Welcome in, welcome in, everyone. Welcome into Two from the Loo on Tuesday night. Oh, Stitch. Stitch says hi. Stitch says Ohana means family. And family means no one gets left behind. Or forgotten. Stitch is in the house. My dear Virginia Bradley, my beautiful wife, is watching tonight. And she says, hello, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're watching the replay, make sure you skip forward. Also, before you skip forward, hit that like button. Because we're going to send this out to as many people as we can on the tubes of the U. Yes, we are. Holly Weird Land is in the house. This is two from the U. Rhonda H. She gives a wave. Oh, Izzo may not be here. Izzo says, I will have to watch this one on the replay. Marathon live stream today for you, Ron. Yes, this is my fourth live show today. It has been a busy one for me. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, Stitch gets all the love. Oh, hello, Stitch. We got a couple minutes left before we come in and hang out. Let's make sure my camera is going to be working. Yes, it does look okay. Got one more song replay, I do believe. Got my Ozark buddy waiting backstage. It's this one. Good evening, Jeremy Heath. We got about 19 seconds and then we get going. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
Cool.
Welcome back, Fun Fam! And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun. My name is Ron E. Bradley, and you're watching Two from the Lou, which means the other one has to come up, and he will in just a moment. Today, what is today? Today's date is Tuesday. Of course, it's Tuesday. It's the 9th of July, 2024, and that is why we do Two from the Lou on Tuesday. And I hope wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day. And I hope this gentleman is also having a phenomenal day. We're going to bring him in right now, Mr. Ozark Matt. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ozark Matt. Ankney.
Thank you for having me.
Missouri.
You hear me?
Missouri Ozark Wilderness Guide. Yes. I was reading your your thing. Missouri Ozark Wilderness Guide.
It is great to be here. I am super excited. We have a guest already. Her name is Annabelle. And
hi, Annabelle.
I can't guarantee that she will stick around. Do you want to look over at the audience, sweetie? Not really. Well, maybe later. Oh, she's a calico. You know how they are, right?
So yes, I had a is it Manx? I think that's the name of the cat that I used to have. It was a Manx cat. It had no tail.
Right.
It had, like its tail was a stub. And I believe, so I don't have that cat anymore. It's still here in Florida. And apparently it's very, very large. It's almost 20 years old. It's got to be getting close to 20 years old, that cat. And it is with a neighbor of my mom's down in St. Cloud, Florida. So,
I thought you were going to say that. Go ahead.
No, you thought I was going to say what?
I thought you were going to say that it escaped from your house and it lives in the swamp behind your house.
It did not escape. It did not escape from my house.
Grew to gargantuan size.
Well, it did grow to gargantuan size from what I understand. I believe the people who have it are kind of spoiling that cat. I'm going to see if I can bring this down. There we go. Let's see who we have. First of all, and this is so important, my dear, beautiful, sweet wife is watching in the other room. She says, here we are, Virginia Bradley's Adventures. Stitch is in the house tonight. Nice. Ohana means family, and family means never being left behind or forgotten. And we have Mr. Jeremy Heath. And Mr. Jeremy Heath says, hi, Kathleen. Kathleen should be here. There it is. Kathleen Fantazi, hello. Hi, St. Louis guys. I'm also watching the Trump rally. His whole family is there, even Barron. So I am multitasking. All right, so I guess she's going to be going back and forth.
She's busy.
Preempted by Trump? What?
Concentrating.
Oh, see. Yes. Okay, this will be available on the replay. And, though I would urge you to come over here because we all know what Trump is going to say. He's not saying anything new. It's just
no, this is counter programming. This is the fun show. This is the counter programming fun show, right?
Yeah, and I have nothing against President Trump. But it's just, all he says a lot of the same things when he's doing his rallies because they're, that's exactly what you do when you're out there traveling in the field, so to speak. So
probably not going to miss much. Yeah, stick with us.
No,
this is the show. This is it. This is the show. Right? Stick with us.
And I know Matt has been feeding me all kinds of fun and interesting things. I don't know what you wanted to talk about first, but I just think this is kind of exciting. So I'm gonna show it over here if I can.
This is a legit show.
If I can,
so we have to
this
up.
And
we have to have things. So a few miles away.
Matt, tell me what this is.
Well, let's just prep this video. Let's prep this video real quick. A few miles away is downtown St. Louis. We celebrated America's birthday recently, and so we have some footage. I think you're gonna like it of how St. Louis celebrates 4th of July. Roll it, Ron.
Okay, I'm gonna see if are we allowed to play the audio on this. This is from a news channel. We don't really need the audio. Okay.
We're going to watch this whole thing and then come back.
Boom. There it is. Okay. All right. So there's downtown. I see fireworks going off.
So you see downtown and you see the arch and you see the river, the Mississippi beyond the arch, right? Okay. That's where the official sanctioned firework festivities are taking place. Any other fireworks that you see not beyond the arch, those are the unofficial, unsanctioned firework displays. Like that one they just saw them go off in a plaza courtyard.
That's just yes, I see.
Dude. That look, St. Louis. Those are Roman candles, maybe?
That's a Roman candle right there.
Okay.
I know that very well because they were very popular in my childhood.
We are so lucky.
Hey, do you want to tell people about tell people where the fireworks are manufactured?
I don't really know where they're made. I thought they were all made in China, Ron. Aren't they? Look at that. Look at that. That's some dude. That's some dude.
They manufacture.
We should explain. Look at this scene down here in the courtyard. Hundreds of people descended on St. Louis and just decided to have a giant firework war. These are people running away from their firework war over there. Look, we're patriotic. These kids said, hey, we love America, and America was birthed in a Revolutionary War, and we're going to put down. Are they shooting
them at the buildings?
Look at this. I mean, you've never seen a city more patriotic in your life, Ron.
That's right. That's what that is. That is.
I mean, that's a tribute to the Statue of Liberty, bro. I mean,
right there. Yes, absolutely.
We all know that 18th Roman candle ball comes out a little funny. We're Americans, don't we? There's way more. What's this? Some dude on his four-wheeler with, I think those are lights attached. We keep it real in this town. That's too much. There's too much excitement.
Yes.
In that footage. You can, ladies and gentlemen, you can find that footage on YouTube, KSDK News Channel 5, and you can just really enjoy and you can understand how passionate and patriotic St. Louis youth are about the Revolutionary War, and they're wanting to recreate it in real time downtown. So we had a lot of fun.
That's all it is.
I don't know about you down in Florida, Ron, but here in St. Louis, we had a lot of display.
Oh,
we had a lot of fun.
Okay. So I'm surrounded by fireworks because all the big displays are on the horizon around my house. But let me tell you, my neighborhood is crazy. My neighborhood. But my neighborhood is not. My neighborhood's not official fireworks, and yet you see firework displays around my house done by our neighbors that might as well be official firework displays. They're huge. I mean, these people spent they went out, they spent $1,000 on their fireworks, I'm sure.
Man.
Because they're big things.
they have that Christmas light fight show. They should have the 4th of July I blow stuff up show. I want to watch that show. Hey, I'm so-and-so every year. I bring my, some dude from Georgia, some dude from Texas. I blow up $10,000 with fireworks.
That is a fantastic idea. I'm surprised that the networks have never done anything like that. Sorry, I've got a little.
You watch their kids almost blow their hands off on. I'm sure America would love that show. They shoot cannons here, do they? Like real cannons?
Yeah. Well, there's a Disney-related story that I don't like about fireworks, and it's only Disney-related because the person that is involved was somebody who played Gaston at the Disney parks in the early 2000s, and it's unfortunate. It was a young gentleman. He was playing around with a firework quite a few years back now. I think it might have been maybe 8 years or so, but he had an accident with the firework while he lit it on his head. A very severe accident, and he's not with us. So that's I'm not gonna. Yeah, no, it was unfortunate.
Wow.
And it's weird because it's Disney related in the sense that this is a person who I guess had just gotten back home from their college program. They were celebrating. It was the 4th of July, and he grabbed it. He was playing around, joking around. Thought this. What I'm assuming happened is they lit the wick on the firework and then ran away from it, and then the wick burns down, but it doesn't go off. And so he probably thought that firework was a dud, and he goes, "Oh, it's a dud." It's and put it on his head, not thinking about it, and like pretended to light it with an actual lighter. And since there was no wick, it just went off. Like it like basically he directly lit the firework with no time. And yeah, he's not with us anymore. Unfortunately, I think he was only 22. He was a young kid. It's unfortunate. That's my son's age. So. My son's out there watching. Don't play with fireworks.
Yeah, let's not put fireworks on our heads, kids. That's not the message of this show at all, or anybody.
Run away.
So
long wick, run away. That's it.
Someone who knows about probably fireworks is Chad Storm. And hello, Chad. So
hello,
kids,
Chad.
Kids, don't put fireworks on your body or on your head.
Hey, when I was a kid, you got to be familiar with these. The firework snakes. You know what I'm talking about? The black little pellets.
Yep, little pellets.
Those were one of my favorite things to play with when I was a kid.
Do people know what those are? They're little hockey pucks, black hockey pucks, and you light them on fire, and they kind of grow a snake-like shape. Do kids even do that anymore? Ron.
I don't know. I mean, like I've always played with what do you call it? Sparklers. I played with sparklers like a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay. How about do you remember the cardboard tank where you would light the little tank on fire and it was on wheels and it would kind of like it would move and it would shoot?
Yes.
As a little kid, that was fun. Yeah. Good stuff. What's next?
I'm trying to find something here about. Let me see. Well, I'm almost sure that there's a lot of fireworks actually manufactured at a plant in Missouri. At least there used to be.
Missouri.
And I'm trying to see if I can find it. Manufacture.
Well, I will say this: the raw ingredient that is refined into gunpowder is called saltpeter. And in the Midwest, where we are here, where I am, where Ron's from, you typically find saltpeter in certain caves or shelter bluff caves in these areas like that. So it does make sense that Missouri would be a center for firework manufacturing in the past based on the local access to things like saltpeter. And we have a ton of firework stands here.
Where are we? Oh, it's the same one. Okay.
The cats are not. My cats are revolting against their human master, and they're not cooperating. But we have a ton of caves in Missouri. ton of caves. So it would be only natural that during the Civil War.
This is what I was.
Go
This
ahead.
is what I'm talking about. During no, I was going to say during. Well, hold that thought because I want to hear about it. But fireworks manufacturers, Manta has 21 businesses under fireworks manufacturers in Missouri. It's Premier Pyrotechnics in Richland, Sidco in Gravois Mills, Missouri.
Yep.
An ad for Bonefish Grill, which I need to get off the screen. Let's see here. Flight Systems in Pleasant Hill. There's Sightmore Incorporated in Pacific, Liberty Fireworks in Rockport, Missouri, Sunset Fireworks in Dittmer, Molly Brown Fireworks, and that's the one that I was thinking of was Molly Brown, because I passed Molly Brown a lot when I was a kid when we were on the highway.
Yeah, and Dittmer is down Gravois,
Dittmer,
towards High Ridge.
So yeah, there's Buffalo and Clinton, and there's all these. These are small fireworks manufacturers throughout the state of Missouri. So not all fireworks do come from China. There are these manufacturers right there in the state of Missouri, which I think is cool. So we are Midwesterners. We like to blow things up.
Okay, show a map of the Midwest. You should do that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's what people do. You saw the video of downtown, so obviously.
Let's see. This is Midwestern United States. This was
just go down a little bit more.
Okay,
there you go. See the red? That is the Midwest. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crucial that you understand that northern South Dakota is very similar to southern North Dakota. All of us Midwesterners understand this, that northern Missouri is unbelievably like southern Illinois. It's just a fact. But here we have the Midwest. Here we have the Midwest: Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, the two Dakotas, Nebraska. Let's never, ever forget Kansas. One of my all-time favorite states. I mean that, Kansas. So one of the better places to live in the world, I think, here. Not so much over there. Not so much over there. It would be in this area. So we're safe. We have all the water in Missouri. We've got the Mississippi River makes the border of Minnesota, Iowa, and Missouri. And then the Missouri River makes the northwestern border of Missouri, and it cuts through. We have all the water, Ron. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, no, it is a land of many waters. Actually, one of the greatest investigative reporters that was ever born, it's ever worked in the United States, was born in Kansas. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. It's a fantastic investigative reporter for the Daily Planet. His name was Clark Kent.
I've heard of him.
He was born in Smallville, Kansas.
That's, you know what? Wait. There's 3 regions of Kansas: Eastern Kansas, Central Kansas, Western Kansas. Kansas is a very large state. If you look at it, it takes about 8 hours to drive across Kansas. Smallville is Eastern Kansas. So
yeah,
he's a Royals fan. He's a Royals fan. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Is he a Broncos fan, a Rockies fan? No. He's a Chiefs fan.
He's a Chiefs fan.
He's a Chiefs fan.
Unfortunately, I feel like the Chiefs soiled their reputation with a little bit too much Taylor Swift this year.
You know what they made up for that with? Winning.
What was his name?
They made up for it.
Yeah, but there was also that that player that it was on. I don't know. He was a Catholic guy who gave a Catholic speech at a Catholic college, and then he got reamed over the coals for talking about his religious values at a religious values college. I can't remember the name.
Times are different. I haven't been on a college campus in a long time.
Oh yeah.
So As a
My
guy
college
that
campus,
graduated from a college campus, I was taught by nuns.
yeah,
I'm
and
not
then
surprised.
and he was, taught by nuns too. I had a tiny little experience with nuns in my college. I went to Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois, but my small experience was that I was in a play that you may have heard of called "Do Black Patent Leather Shoes Really Reflect Up?" And it's an old Catholic thing that they said don't be looking in girls'
They
black
can't be too
patent leather
shiny.
shoes. Yeah,
The
because
audience, I think, understands the
yeah,
shoes are not allowed to be mirror-like if you understand this
right.
concept. We'll leave
Well,
it there.
but the show is so funny because as an actor, you portray somebody from kindergarten. Your character grows up throughout the show very quickly, and then you actually go all the way through graduation and adulthood. So your character is an adult at the end of the show. So you get to play your character as a kindergarten, as a second grader, as like a fifth grader, and then going into high school, and it's a pretty fun show. But that was my experience with Catholic school because we were all kids in a Catholic school, so it was it's fun. I actually first saw that show at the Repertory Theater in St. Louis by Ted Drews, and then got to do it later on when I was in college. So it was very, very cool for me as a kid, wanting to be in entertainment. Um, there were some other things that you had shown me.
Mastodon.
Oh,
Mastodon. We in Missouri has over 90
Mastodon.
states.
Yes.
Yes. In Missouri, we have a great state park system, and we are superior in our parks, in our number of parks, and our quality, and our diversity in our state park units in Missouri. Mastodon State Historic Site is located a few miles south of St. Louis on Highway 55, and it is the site of a Victorian archaeological dig called the Kimswick Bone Bed. And in the 1800s, these guys found the remnants of an old spring in which prehistoric Ice Age animals fell into, and they found their skeletons. Those skeletons were excavated over time and then assembled inside of the Mastodon State Historic Site Visitor Center. So if you like woolly mammoths, if you like mastodons, if you like short-faced bears, dire wolves, all the animals of the Ice Age, then you would love this place. As you walk in, you see an assembled skeleton of a mastodon. And I'll tell you that there's not a lot of museums and parks like this that just center specifically on the mastodon. There were several hairy, giant elephants of the Ice Age in North America. The mastodon is just one. The other one is the woolly mammoth. You know that one. They're similar. The other one is the Columbian mammoth, which is the largest of the three. So this place is really neat. It's $4 to go inside the museum. It's free to walk around the park, to visit the Kimswick Bone Bed. The visitor center is up on a hill, and there's a little walkway, a little wooden path that goes down the hill to where the actual Kimswick Bone Bed is. So you get to see a 30-minute video if you want. You get more information. A great story about this is this is located south of St. Louis. So when they were building Highway 55, Ron, they wanted to destroy the Kimswick Bone Bed. They wanted to destroy this park. It was 4 ladies formed a committee. They became civic leaders in this area. They gathered signatures. They wrote congressmen. They wrote newspapers. And what they were able to do is they were able to save this park. So when you watch that video at the park, you see the women and you hear the story about how the park and the Kimswick Bone Bed were slated to be destroyed by mid-20th century highway development, and they saved it. So it's an awesome story about how North America formed, what it was like leading up until about 10,000 years ago. It's also awesome how people came together and a community has a really cool place. If you don't mind, Ron, if you show another photo that I sent.
I was going to ask too, because the one I was familiar with growing up was the snuffleupagus. Did they have?
Yeah, right. Same thing.
The snuffle megafauna in Missouri. Is this the one or is it a different one?
Yeah, megafauna. A mastodon is a megafauna, a short-faced bear, a saber-toothed cat, a woolly mammoth, a glyptodon, all of these weird animals. Those are megafauna. So we do have, in the United States, we have really smart people. We've got really smart scientists, geologists, people who are from Missouri, went to the University of Missouri, they live here, they study these things. So in the last 2 decades, in the last century or two, they've found in all of these counties that you see here, this is a county-wide map of Missouri, and you see it's a color-coded map of where each individual animal was found. So, for example, the saber-toothed cat is like maroon at the bottom. You see some maroon spots, and so it looks like in central Missouri 10,000 years ago, if you got in a time machine and you stepped out of your TARDIS, you might see a saber-toothed cat right in front of you. So they have really neat displays. And Missouri is a very large. See, the ice sheets came down. You can see how there are no animals in northern Missouri. Why are there no dots in northern Missouri? That was an ice sheet. That's where the glacier was, half a mile high, 3/4 of a mile high, a giant swamp in front of it, densely packed in ice. So you see all of the animals from Canada, from northern United States, they took refuge in places like Missouri. And so we benefit from that biodiversity today. Please show another photo. This is a great museum. Again, this is Mastodon State Park. It's located south of St. Louis on Highway 55. This is one of my favorite maps. This is one of my favorite maps. You see North America, you see a large ice sheet in Western Canada, and you see the Laurentide ice sheet in Eastern Canada. There's a corridor there. So you see all the people and all the animals came through that corridor 10,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago, and started settling in the United States, the continental United States. So unfortunately, there are caves everywhere in Missouri, and that's sad to see that cave go, but we saved this park. So great to hear more detail about this story. There's always more detail out there and all the stuff that we talk about. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Clovis sites. Clovis, man, a Clovis point is a really long projectile point that's a fluted blade made by Paleo Indians to hunt large megafauna. So Clovis, New Mexico is where Clovis Point was first found. They applied this name to a whole group of people, the first settlers of the United States. So you see location of major Clovis sites. This is a great map. You have 1 through 30 something. St. Louis is number 27. The Kimswick Bone Bed Mastodon State Park is a major Clovis center, big enough to put on the map. The stars are larger camps and larger communities of Paleo Indians. And so you see a fascinating grouping here, some in southern Arizona by the Mexican border, a large grouping in Texas, and then another large grouping in western Tennessee, northern Kentucky on the Mississippi River. Back then, the Mississippi River would have been really wide, choked with ice and debris, probably 5 to 6 times wider than it is today. So it would have been fascinating to see. And so, wow, I mean, the Ice Age, as a Missourian, as someone who lives and is from Missouri, a native of this large state, someone who gets around the state a lot, I myself, I never stopped studying the Ice Age because it played such a significant role in our terrain, in Missouri's landscape, in our flora, and in our fauna. So it's just a pleasure. Hold on. Ron, do you see how as the ice sheets descended and the planet cooled, the sea levels dropped? So what you see on the southern Gulf Coast and around Florida literally doubled in size. Like, talk about a beach. Talk about gaining beach. That was there for thousands of years. The planet warmed and the ice melted and then the sea rose again. But it's fascinating. I never stopped studying the Ice Age, and it's fascinating how there's so much information that you never really hear about. Nobody ever talks about this. It's not really in movies. You might see some documentaries about it. There's a great BBC documentary about the Ice Age. 15 years ago. And so, yeah, really. Okay, check this out. This is one last display. The numbers on the right-hand side of this display indicate as you dig down every 6 inches, 8 inches, you're literally traveling in time 1,000 years. So if you go down, I don't know, like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, it shows you where the archaic period ended and the woodland period began. And so in the geologic scheme of things, as you walk around, all this stuff is under you. You really have no idea. It's a very eye-opening display in a sense when it comes to, I don't really have to dig down very far to be 3,000 years ago. That's the best way that I can truly travel in time as I sit here. So Macedon State Historic Site is a treasure. It's publicly owned by the people of Missouri. And all 6 million residents own an equal share of this little place, these places, these state parks, and our public lands that we love. And places like Macedon bring tourism in, attract people from across the state and then into Missouri from Illinois and stuff like that. So that
Missouri, I mean, and even just the downtown area of St. Louis has fascinating history and fascinating museums. Really, all over the state, there's fascinating museums. Have you ever been on the other side of the state? There's some interesting towns, interesting names. There's a Peculiar, Missouri. That's an actual name of a town. I don't know if you've ever been to Peculiar, Missouri. Clinton is by that area. And then I think in Missouri, I believe it's called Osceola. Here, the same word, we have the same word as Osceola. And I drive Osceola Parkway all the time because it's just down the street from my house. But in Missouri, they have a town called Osceola. And as you're driving from Springfield up to Kansas City, or it's in the Sedalia area, Osceola has a unique shop called Osceola Cheese. Everything's manufactured and sold right there. It's a fresh cheese shop. It's just like little interesting things. Of course, we might one day, and we have to, I would imagine, be careful how we talk about this, but we might one day talk about the town of Uranus, Missouri.
I was just there. Yeah, I sent you those photos. Yeah,
Uranus.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to work around the YouTube algorithm to make sure. I think we're pronouncing it properly as Uranus.
UK, you're going with the UK pronunciation, Ron. Uranus.
Uranus, yes.
Uranus.
Almost sounds like you're nice.
Really. No, east of Kansas City, when you're on Highway 70 and you're blazing into Kansas City, it's farmland. It's not the Ozarks. It's prairie. It's rolling open farmland, lots of cows. So cheese shops, totally. East of Kansas City, cheese shops. West of Kansas City, wheat fields.
You were showing me something about fish. I don't know how to bring it up because I didn't quite get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we in St. Louis are super lucky because we don't get one night of fish here in a few weeks. They have a brand new album coming out on Friday. So they'll be here to be promoting their new album. They'll be on Jimmy Fallon in 2 nights. Check them out. I sent you a photo, I think, in Slack. The band Fish is going to play at SLU Tuesday, July 30th, and Wednesday, July 31st. I have tickets. I will be in section 108. Come say hello. And it should be a fun time. When you go see a concert at SLU, it's not a Live Nation venue. And what that means is it's really chill. It's relaxed. You're going to be on a college campus. School's not in session in July, but it'll be the same vibe. Fish plays really well traditionally when they play on a college campus. So you see, tickets are available. Tickets left, 3%. If you're interested in this show, do not delay. because like I said, in 2 days, their new album's going to come out. They're going to get a lot of attention. People are going to, this weekend, they'll go, hey, let's go see Fish. Go see Fish. I will be there, section 108, row M. And
so the Chaffetz Arena, that's the SLU, the arena at SLU?
The Chaffetz Arena, Ron, is a high-tech facility, sports facility. There are mountains in Missouri and southern Missouri. They're low. They're small. They're called the St. Francis Mountains. Chaffetz is the basketball arena. It's about a 10,000-seat stadium where they mainly play basketball, and it makes a really good concert venue for things like Fish. Fish, I will say that they probably have, if you're into live shows and things like lighting, people sometimes watch a Fish show just for the lights alone because they're so amazing. They have their own light technician that's at every show. He's invented these lights that are dynamic and they move around. They're like a transformer. And he, on touch screens in the back of the concert venue, he will manipulate these lights in real time, not only with colors and intensity, but he can literally change the shape and move it almost like very intricate bird-like structures. It's fascinating. And this band pioneers and things like this. So they just played the Sphere in April. It's a band that's always doing new stuff. They played the Sphere in April. The Sphere is this giant ball that's got video screens, all of it inside, that they can just show anything they want. That's in Vegas. So yeah, at SLU in a few weeks, Fish, go to fish.com. See me there. See us there. People like me, people like Ron, we'll be there hanging out. Hang out with us.
That's very, very cool.
Let's all hang out.
I'm trying.
Right.
I was trying to find something from. No, that is the wrong year. I'm in the wrong year. I was trying to find
St. Louis, Ron, you know this. Musicians, Ron, you know this. They love rock music, don't they? They love going to shows. Musicians love to come here to play.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you know what?
It's one of those towns.
One of the first shows that I ever saw was Herbie Hancock, which was so interesting to see. It was a Herbie Hancock, and I think it was at the Keel. I don't know what the Keel is called now. What's the updated name for the Keel Auditorium, which I think is still there, right?
Dude, I mean, it's like Enterprise Cars, Enterprise Leasing Center, something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Enterprise.
Wait, is it still is it an auditorium, or is it an auditorium owned by Enterprise, or is it like a car leasing center?
It's the hockey rink. If you're talking about the Keel, they tore down the auditorium. Oh. They renovated the Opera House. They tore down the auditorium and they built the hockey rink. The hockey rink in '94 opened up. It was called Keel. That became like Stavis, Scott Trade, now Enterprise. I call Riverport.
Center, that's what. Yeah,
Riverport. Yeah, right.
Is Riverport still the Riverport Amphitheater?
No, it's Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. It's brutal.
Oh God! But it's still an amphitheater. Still.
Yeah, they do. They do shows there, but they built a giant landfill next to the amphitheater, and decades later, it's huge. So it's not an awesome place to be. We need a new venue. Look, dudes, masters of the universe, civic leaders, I implore you, the people that make things happen in Missouri, there are very few of you. There's a handful of billionaires, whatever. We need a new Riverport. We need a new Riverport down by Six Flags, down by 44. Have you been to other cities? They've actually built stuff. We don't build a lot of things here. Let's have like a new Riverport. We have a new Cardinals stadium. It's already decades old now, but that's a centerpiece of downtown. And my idea is, let's put a giant new Riverport somewhere like down 44 or something like that. Make it cool.
I remember I was there when they tore down the Checker Dome. I saw so many concerts at the Checker Dome when I was a kid. That was like the biggest venue that anybody would go to, because you go to It was so easy.
You're right.
You would hit the Checker Dome, you would leave, you would go to Emo's Pizza, where there was a line out the door at that point in time because Emo's was right there. There was a Ted Drew's very close by, and it was all right in the same area. I saw Janet Jackson there with a friend of mine, and she passed out after the fourth song that she sang, and we didn't know what to do. We had bought the tickets from somebody out front, so we were there. We didn't have a way to get a refund because we didn't buy the ticket through a legitimate source. So we didn't know what to do. So we went around the backside of the Checker Dome. And we're like, well, what are we going to do? We were young and had this wonderful thing called energy back then that I don't have as much of now. And Janet had been rushed to the hospital. She fainted on stage in the middle of Black Cat. And she was dehydrated. She had suffered from a heat stroke or something on stage. She fainted.
Oh my God.
Lights went black. The lights went black. The lights came back up, and they said, "Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, due to an emergency situation, we are ending the show at this point." Blah blah blah, and whatever. So all the 50,000 people or whatever, left the stadium. We didn't know what to do. My best friend and I were both music geeks, and we're like, I don't know, let's see what's going on backstage. So we went behind the auditorium where all the buses were, and Janet Jackson's dancers didn't know what the heck to do either because they were supposed to be on stage in the show. So they were just hanging out. So if you've ever seen the Rhythm Nation videos, like Rhythm Nation, Miss You Much, all those videos from that back, all of those dancers that are in those videos were on stage with her. So her choreographer, everybody, they were hanging out, and we just hung out with them. we're like, yeah, we're watching the show, and they're like, cool. And then we just started talking, and they were awesome, and we got to see the tour bus and stuff, and it was like, what? Okay, so we didn't actually get to see Janet perform, but this is pretty cool too.
It's kind of almost as good. You get that's cool.
Yeah,
Ron is talking about the old. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think St. Louis, generally speaking, has a different kind of a down-to-earth vibe. And it's funny because, it can be a very dangerous city in certain parts. But for the most part, it's really not. It just kind of depends on where you're hanging out. It used to be the really bad area was Washington Avenue downtown. I don't know if it's still is like that.
No, it is so gentrified, dude. You wouldn't recognize it.
Okay.
It is so changed.
My mom got shot. She did not take the bullet. Her car took the bullet, but her car did get shot on Washington Avenue one year. It was a stray bullet that was flying from somebody that was.
It had to be like 80s.
Yeah, it was in the 80s, and she was working in that area. She worked in an office.
Oh, here's what we'll do for an episode. A large portion, 90% of Escape from New York was filmed in St. Louis. We need to do that as an episode.
Was talking about.
I will take some photos.
I'll have to get Lou. Lou will want to come on for that because he'll love talking about it. But he was telling me that earlier today, Lou Wasserman's Ghost. And I'm sure he'll be happy to come on and talk about that.
No.
But yeah.
I could go to the places where they filmed Escape from New York, take photos, and we could talk about it. It would be a great episode. Great. One of the places is in Union Station. Many scenes were filmed inside Union Station, outside Union Station. That's where the president's chained against the wall, the Duke of New York shooting the gun at him. The president's in a train car. There's a train yard at night. Snake has to sneak in. That's all St. Louis. That's all Union Station. Some of those cars and trains are still there. And where Snake fights the guy in a wrestling ring with the bat with the nails, that's in the unrenovated Union Station hotel bar. So if you go there now, that room is there, but it's all, you can have a drink there. So we should do that.
Union Station is still the big, they've got the mall and everything there still. Is it still very active?
Some of it, like as malls have died, I haven't gone in there, so I've heard that some of it shut down, but they still have that fudge factory and like some
yeah. Oh
shops
my
and
God.
some restaurants. They don't have like every single store from the 80s that we remember, like the old Banana Republic that had like palm trees in it and trees and stuff. Remember that?
I think was there a Disney store there? I think there was a Disney store I think there was a Disney store at Union Station.
Probably.
There was a lot of big, I mean, I remember when it opened back up, it was a big celebration because it had been the train station and then they converted it to a big mall and then it opened back up and it was a huge deal. When it first opened back up. So we would go down there a lot. Yeah.
I think they recently like wanted to make it an aquarium, or they turned it into this giant aquarium, or that was the idea, that part of it would be an aquarium. Union Station is in a really nice spot downtown on Market Street. But
we had so much fun there. I remember going to the Fudgery. I have other stories about the Fudgery later on, but that was maybe one of my first experiences with the Fudgery because that would always gather such huge crowds when they were making the fudge at Union Station. And they, do the thing back and forth on the marble slab when they're making the fudge. And I mean, 50 people at least, maybe 100 would be gathered around.
Huge crowds. Yeah.
So the Fudgery is one of the reasons, not the one at Union Station, but in general, the Fudgery as a company is one of the reasons that I first started to really gain weight in my life. Let me tell you why. No, let me tell you why. There's a very, very good reason why. In 2006, Branson Landing opened, and I opened my caricature stand at Branson Landing, and my caricature stand, right, was in an open area, and right next door was the Fudgery. And right behind the Fudgery was Famous Dave's Barbecue. And then there was a pizza place over to the left. And then there was Marble Slab Ice Creamery. And then Auntie Anne's Pretzels was right behind me. Well, I didn't want to pay for food during the day. So I started doing caricatures of all the people that worked at these places. The Fudgery displayed all my caricatures around them. And in exchange, guess what I got? All the free fudge I could ever want. I had free fudge. I had free Auntie Anne's pretzels. I had free Marble Slab Creamery ice cream. I had free barbecue from Famous Dave's and free pizza from the pizza place anytime I wanted it. And I was sitting down for 13 hours a day drawing caricatures. And this was coming off of doing 3 years of shows in Branson. In 2003, 4, and 5, I was doing shows. And so I was very active and my metabolism high. But I'd hit my mid-30s at that point in time. So right when I hit my mid-30s and my metabolism's dropping and I stopped working out and I stopped dancing for 6 hours a day or whatever it was. And then I sat there all day long and ate
with boxes of fudge. Dude.
Let me tell you, we take them home. I always had at least, literally like 4 boxes of different kinds of fudge on the top of my refrigerator at any given time, because of the Fudgery. But it all goes back to St. Louis at Union Station because of how cool that place was. And now it's not that many years later, and I'm thinking in my mind, I get free fudge all the time. It was like, that was the best deal in my life for me. And of course, I didn't realize by the time I got to Florida, 2006, 7, 8, at the end of 8 and the beginning of 9 is when I moved to Florida, and I saw my first picture of myself on the beach. I'm like, oh God. So it's been a roller coaster since then of up and down weight.
Does the audience know how ripped you were, though? Or can be? Like, they probably have never seen Ron. Like, Ron looks like Steve Rogers, 1942, when he really wants to.
Yeah, so. I can, or have at least. I hope. Hopefully, I can again get in shape.
You can.
I was kind of in shape in 2 years ago in 2022. But it's a lot of mental focus for me because I have to eat very, very little. And the right kind of high dense nutrition foods. And my problem is, going back to the Fudgery experience,
right?
I developed a liking for everything that is bad for my health.
Man, I see a little Ron.
When you're getting
I see a little Ron at the fudge factory, right? Yeah.
But like, it's not just fudge, but the Auntie Anne's pretzels. I mean, Hey, I would go over there and say, "Hey, can I have a pretzel dog?" Okay, here you go.
This is the Midwest. You
They
grew
don't
up in the
care,
Midwest.
you know.
You have no ability to withstand gooey butter cake, toasted raviolis, frozen
Toasted
custard,
wraps.
pretzels,
Oh.
pretzels, like all this food. No,
No,
it's
I mean it's
it's
you
part
know
of the
it's
Midwestern food pyramid diet. All that stuff I mentioned.
it's not really good. I mean, and barbecue, lots and lots of barbecue,
Barbecue.
and
Yeah,
fantastic barbecue. St. Louis style ribs. I mean,
right.
St. Louis style ribs are so famous that they're called St. Louis style ribs. So,
Kansas City will give us the run for their money on a national
yeah,
awareness, but the better ribs are the St. Louis ribs
yeah.
because St. Louis is an older city, an older culture, and we've been doing it longer. So
Jeremy,
no,
what is Gus roadside pretzel? What is that?
it's a dude sitting on a chair with some paper bags on a Sunday morning, and he goes like this, and you give him no, yeah. That's how I know Gus is. I as a St. Louisan, I know this dude that sits there at a chair at an intersection and he hands out pretzels. But I
like
think you
that.
can go to his shop or go there. Weird stuff here.
It's so funny the whole pretzel thing, which I think is kind of famous in St. Louis. The best pretzel that I ever had was actually very, very recently. It was on St. Patrick's Day, and it was a huge surprise, actually. Um, we went to this Irish place. I did a vlog on it, and my younger son didn't know what to order him at a place like this, so we ordered him the pretzel. Bavarian pretzel. It comes out, and the thing is like literally 12 inches wide, takes up the entire plate, and comes with this cheese, the beer cheese sauce. It was maybe the most amazing pretzel I've ever eaten in my entire life, and it
Wow.
was far less expensive than the fancy ones that you get at Disney. And I was like, wow, if anybody really wants one of the good big giant pretzels, they should like skip Disney, come over here, which is like 2 miles away from the gates of Disney, buy this thing, and then go back. What is my mom was
Go ahead.
saying that she worked at Schweitzer Pastry when she was 15, and she made gooey butter cakes.
A gooey butter cake is a turn of the century, 20s, 30s neighborhood housewife thing that they would make. And it has no chocolate in it at all. So I'm not that interested. But a gooey butter cake is this St. Louis thing. It's hard to explain, Ron. It's lemony, isn't it? It's lemony. It's
Yeah,
got powdered sugar in it.
there's a
Can you
place where you
explain
can
it?
buy them. Well, there's a place where you can buy them here packaged. It's not the same as a fresh gooey butter cake, but it says St. Louis style on the package, and it's at Wawa. The Wawa gas stations, they sell them. Not quite the
Weird.
same thing, but they're right in front of the coffee stand. So where you get all the coffee, gooey butter cake, which obviously makes sense. Everything in St. Louis goes with coffee. It's it
Everything.
was a yeah, it was a big deal to have like obviously coffee after dinner, coffee for breakfast. Lots of when I was by the time I got to college, I was drinking 2 pots of coffee a day. Yeah, I don't do that now by any means. I don't drink coffee anymore. But in
I drink
college,
coffee all day long. No,
there
you
you go.
started your coffee addiction in the Midwest. Is that what you're saying?
I did.
You
Um,
want to know why we drink so much coffee in the Midwest? We
it tastes
understand
good.
that life is only going to get really so good. We're not going to be rich. We're not going to be in movies. Congressmen are not going to listen to us. Presidents are not going to care. You might as well drink a little coffee. You might as well chill. You might as well feel good and just roll with it. This is my take on that.
Exactly.
I don't know about you.
No, I would agree.
Hey, look, it's been like the Goonies outside. It's been raining for days. So I want to
Yeah.
do a super St. Louis City thing. before I forget, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I want to do a super St. Louis City thing that people do. Let's check my basement for water.
Gosh.
Let's go real quick and see if it's flooded. Nuggy, come on.
You're making me jealous. We don't have basements. I live in Florida.
You don't have basements?
No basements in Florida.
Oh, you see water? Do you see water?
I
see water. Hold on.
Oh no.
I'm flooded.
Uh-oh.
I'm flooded. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It came in my wall over there and it trickled down. Not too bad.
But that's the whole reason we're under the water table here. We can't have a basement at all because we just
water
flooded all
right
the time.
there. Yeah. All right, we did it.
Yeah, we've had our
basement segment. So you don't have a basement. Look, you guys, you got to live in the Midwest. You got to live life underground sometimes, brother.
Yes. I would imagine that there are probably people living in some of the caves in Missouri today. When you can put it, I think Missouri is the reason that I developed such a love for bats. My wife doesn't understand why I love bats so much, and we have bats that fly around the house here at night. And so I go out around 8:30 and I look at bats. Yeah, and they bring me good luck, you know. But I want to get going for tonight because there's some things that I want to plan with you as we go forward, and we're going to do this on a weekly basis in the future. There are just so many certain things that are coming back to mind. We'll plan together of certainly escape from St. Louis. I mean, escape from New York.
We'll call it that. That'll be your title. That's awesome,
escape
dude.
St. Louis.
The two from the Lou is your title. It's an awesome title.
And White Palace. I want to discuss.
Oh, we should have a White Palace show. Just both of us watch the movie, come and then talk about it. People will love it.
Oh my gosh, White Palace was what a movie that
was. If you like James Spader and you like Susan Sarandon and you like the idea of them all over each other, watch White Palace. Put the kids to bed. Okay, so Tuesday, July 31st, I will be at Fish. So I don't know that we can do the stream that particular Tuesday, July 30th.
Oh, that's fine.
We might have to do it Monday night or whenever, or skip it. But tickets are sold.
What does my mom say? She says, I really miss my basement homes in St. Louis, but I have always never understood why a completely finished basement never counted as part of the square footage in a home. That's true. Like we had so the house I grew up in, primarily, I would say the last house that I lived in with our family in St. Louis. It's still over there in the Creve Coeur, Chesterfield area, right on the line, right? It's now off of Woods Mill Road, but at the time, Woods Mill Road was 141. But you know how they, I don't know how, but it's been a while, I guess, since they did the construction and separated.
141 is way bigger.
Right. So, but at the time, they were the same thing. And I was just up the street from Parkway Central High School, which is where I went to school. I mean, I was walking distance. And the people that bought our house from us still own that house to this day. So, and it had a nice finished basement. And it was, as far as houses are concerned, it was a decent, mid-level house to grow up in, and I had some good times there. It was the first place that I ever used my video camera. We rented a video camera for my 16th birthday. I had a really, really cool 16th birthday. The night before, I was 15 and did some Halloween stuff there. I had my Thriller jacket. That's
awesome.
And then the next day, on my 16th birthday, I did not get my driver's license on my 16th birthday, but I got my student pilot certificate.
Neat.
So went out to Spirit of St. Louis Airport and did my solo flight. And that's what I was doing, to fly in an airplane on my 16th birthday.
That's awesome.
I never did get my pilot's license, unfortunately. I wish I would have. But it was a blast. And so St. Louis holds some very, very important childhood younger memories for me. I spent the first 21 years of my life there, and a good portion of my life, probably still the majority of my life living in Missouri. Yeah, it's still weird for me to think that I've been a Floridian for 15 years now, because that time has gone by so fast. But it's yeah, we have a lot to talk about coming up in future episodes. And I keep meaning for you to send me your links in Slack so that I can copy and paste those links to the description on these videos. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
the audience can find me and my weekend business, Missouri Ozark Wilderness Guide, on Facebook. You can hire me to be your guide on the trail, on an auto tour, a scenic drive through the Ozarks. I will be your tour guide in any season. Missouri Ozark Wilderness Guide on Facebook. Thank you.
And
your mom's still going on about, but
yes.
It was a dry basement, and that's boring. I like a little wet basement once in a while, and I'm sure that was a wonderful basement, but it's not wet like mine. So
no, ours got wet more times than you want to know. But anyway, on that note, I gotta get going because my camera is actually dying. So, but that's okay. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. This stream is going to redirect to WDW Pro's our after party for the Acolyte. For those that want to go over there, I'm not watching the Acolyte, so I don't care. But
I can't believe
this
you're
is
still watching.
I'm not watching it. I'm not watching. I haven't watched.
All power to them and you guys, and you want to watch it. I can't believe this. We're still watching the Acolyte. It's July.
I have no desire. I have no desire for it whatsoever, to be honest with you. So I haven't watched a single moment of it, other than things that have been on other people's YouTube streams. But as far as the actual show, not.
If you do want to go see a show with a wonderful, wonderful host who probably has the best content and speaks to the most to how bad the Acolyte is, check out WDW Pro show. You won't want to miss it. So check it out. Our pal.
It is far more fun to watch people rag on the Acolyte than it ever could possibly be to watch.
It's way more. Don't watch the Acolyte. Watch professionals rip on it. Leave it in the hands of professionals. Just do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But until next time, I will be doing my morning stream tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Daily Dish, and getting ready to start my series. It's hard to bring myself to do, but I'm going to do it. And that is my cast member experience series as a cast member at Walt Disney World. I'm going to start telling stories, and I've got some questions that have already been asked, and I'll answer some of those questions in the very first episode. Be on the lookout for it, because I haven't done it yet, and I'm not. It should be within the next 2 weeks. So, and on that note, I'll let Matt grab his cat, and we will say ciao, and we will see you real soon, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.